Petri, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw
Okay.
to see how well you sled.
Yeah, so that's a 7.
He has to bail.
Alright, so...
As long as you're running to me.
So...
No, if I'd roll a 1, I would roll into you.
Yeah. So you managed to make like a about the size of this, a little bit smaller than the size of this table, mushroom cap.
Yeah.
That you had just been sort of like focusing your energy into, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger and sort of harder and harder and harder, and you're like, I've got it.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't have any need for these horses.
Nope.
Fine. And you jump on it, and you start to go down, and the first, like, switchback, you're fine. You got it. You swerve into it. You're like, get down on the side. The second switchback,
It's fun.
not so good.
Oh, no.
And you tumble off of it. You actually overcorrected, and you fell, like, down a layer, and you get, like, you've got it on top of you now. Do you want to keep going? Or what is the plan?
Kinda.
Alright,
It was fun.
give me another dexterity saving throw.
Manic laughter. The whole time. Okay, that one's better. That's a 15.
Okay.
I'm getting the hang of that mushroom.
With a 15, you go at, like, another 3 switchbacks down, and I'd say that you, like...
Catch up to Daramesh and pass him?
No, but you definitely catch up to Malrienne. And, like, do you... Okay. Malrienne, make a perception check for me.
Duck.
It's a quick time event.
Yeah. Quick hit triangle.
14?
Yeah, that's good enough. You do hear the manic laughter approach you as Petri is like screaming down the mountain slope directly at you. What do you do?
I'm gonna dodge out of the way.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm good at those, right?
You are good at those.
Yes, I'm good at those. Oh, 19!
You leap out of the way, luckily towards the mountain, so you just kind of press yourself up against the wall, and Petri flashes across.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
And you're on your way to beat Daramesh. We'll
Cool.
get there in a second.
If I cast Water Walk and Control Water at the same time, can I just, like, walk? Like, make the water hover and then just walk on it down the mountain?
You can walk in the snow.
No, but I just want to, like, go straight down.
Oh, okay.
There's no water.
You can. Yeah.
But if I control water and then I walk on it...
You want to
get
walk
floating-
straight down the mountain.
No. Just fucking what is, like, can I manipulate these both and, like, fucking Magneto my way, like how he controls all the mountain?
Are both of them concentration spells? They probably are.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
No, I'll just, like, start to walk behind the horses and be like, and look at my boots, and then look at the horse, and then like, I'll get up.
What? What?
Who?
I didn't say anything.
What?
Huh?
Fucking, I'll just, like, look at Emil. Just,
He needs like one arm, kind of
Yep.
like you grab onto his bicep
Yep.
and he lifts you up and puts you behind and he says,
Then he overdoes it, just like.
and then I just, like, fly off the mountain, and then the goat appears and catapults me further, and then I end up in Castle Ravenloft, because I just got bounced the whole way there.
roll a new character, please. Lither was tired of Lither, everybody. So, new characters for everybody.
Raven Queen was like, whoops.
Emil says,
Am I
Hello,
in front
sister.
of him or behind him?
He's just
I think he puts you in front of him.
Okay.
Tatzel is definitely behind Bianca, like holding on.
Otherwise, it would just be like,
A little shyly at first.
Little shyly, kind of hover handy, but Emil's just
Am I
like,
allowed to touch a lady's waist?
Room for Jesus.
room for the morning lord, please. Emil says to you, hello, sister.
hello. Emil.
This is fine.
Vesna just run alongside.
What's that?
Vesna.
Vesna is trotting along right next to you. Just happy as a clam. He likes the snow.
Yeah, he just fucking dives headfirst. It's like
Yeah, it's a little bit like, hup, hup, hup.
It's okay, he was eating snowballs earlier.
Elma, you walking or you riding?
walking.
Okay. At the back or sort of in the middle?
Back.
Okay. You guys start making your way down the mountain. Any conversations that you guys want to have, we can have. Real quick, Daramesh, Make a perception check for me, please.
Oh god.
He probably also realizes he doesn't know where he's going.
Darmesh has just about made it down sort of the most precarious part of the mountain by now.
And just like,
And is not 100% sure which way to go. You can see Argynvostholt, but you're not sure where the rest of anything is.
it's like, I know where that is, because that's home.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest, nope. A 5, so nope, I do not.
You do not hear Petra go.
I'm just like muttering to the heart.
You got like one hand kind of around your back, like, don't worry, baby doll. Petra,
I'm gonna get you home.
what are you doing? Are you aiming for Darmesh, or are you going to try to swerve around him? Or what
No,
are you
get him in the knees and then like just like hi.
I'm not that kind of person, and this thing ain't big enough. Bye.
Goodbye.
Petri is going to aim to go around and maybe playfully get some snow from said sled.
You're going to try to like a car on
Like
a
a
rainy day, kind of like
Yeah.
past him and get, okay.
Yeah.
Jesus, just roll and add your dexterity.
Okay.
Roll a make Darvish's day bad.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
You get to pick what happens. Just tell me what you do.
Yeah, it's absolutely like no. It's just trajectory, hard slide, like snowplow style, like, and then like tries to catch like a sick jump after because I got a note this 20.
All of that 100%. You swerve almost to a halt right behind Darmesh. Darmesh, you're kind of whispering to your heart, and you're like looking around, like you've stopped for a moment, realizing you don't 100% know which way is Krezuk.
I know which way is down.
You know which way is down, and you're like, all right, I guess I'm gonna start taking it. And you take a step, and then just like a ton of snow just blasting you from behind. And Petri screeches past and hits like a mogul and like does a sweet flip in the air and then
You
lands
like kick
and
out
you
of the snow.
grab it to the side and land on your feet.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm Sean White now.
Yeah, basically.
How's it going?
What's up?
Sorry.
It took you an hour to get down here. It took me about 30 seconds.
Darvish just like shakes off the snow like a dog. Then just immediately checks the heart and says, "Is it okay?"
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's totally fine.
Like, what? He just like, wait. He just checks his heart rate.
They'll be down in a little bit.
Okay. Make sure nothing else is coming up from behind.
I'm pretty sure.
You darn kids in your extreme sports.
Your X Games.
You gotta admit, that was a really sick flip, though. Next time I'll wear a helmet, dear.
You need some knee pads.
I'm sure. I've
Don't
got
kids
some
know
growing
about
right now.
safety anymore?
Hmm? What's safe anymore? I mean, really.
That is fair. The Darvish like trudges
Just keeps trudging.
Do we
to catch up.
sense,
No.
like way
Probably
down?
You guys are about, this happens about the time that you guys meet up with Maurian, who is just kind of like, Maurian is sort of enjoying a bit of this solitude and, just walking through the wilderness is sort of very comforting. And around the time that the monks finally catch up and you breathe a bit of a sigh of, oh, well, I guess that's over, you look down at the pair of kind of ant-sized human figures that you can see down the hill, and you watch that unfold. And the monks crack up laughing.
I think Petri's found a new love in life.
Sick flips.
It would appear that the elf was quite skilled at sledding.
On a mushroom.
It's not something that I would have expected.
You and Petri's fucking lighting up after that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just vaping.
Yeah.
You've got like a mushroom in the shape of like a vape pipe, and you're just gonna like light it on fire.
Produce flame.
Yes, 100%. Lithra, on the way down, Emil sort of like asks you. He says, I do not wish to pry. You do not have to answer. But, where are you from? In fact, first off, what is your name?
I've introduced myself to you before. I'm Lithra.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
That's fair. I haven't actually named the fucking village she's from, so let's do some fucking bullshit.
Let's do. Where are you from, Lithra?
I'm from a small town called North Pass.
North Pass?
Yeah.
I have probably never heard of this North Pass.
Probably not. It's not there anymore.
What do you mean?
I was raised to the ground by a roving group of bandits. So, it's not there anymore.
He sort of, like, claps you on the shoulder a little bit, and it almost hurts.
She does it like, I'm like...
Kind of see it, like... It says, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Again, I do not wish to pry. But it seems like you are clearly a woman of a god.
Mm-hmm.
Which would it be?
Raven Queen.
Ah. Yes, we know the Raven Queen.
That's good. You should, although I haven't honestly heard of much of the Morning Lord, but...
As far as I can tell, the Morning Lord is... well... I'm not sure he is real in the same way that the Raven Queen is real. Certainly before I came to Barovia, I had never heard of the Morning Lord either.
You're not from Barovia.
Does the accent not give it away?
I
Or
don't
perhaps
know.
my skin?
I don't assume anything anymore.
No, I am not from Barovia. Almost none of our party are.
Where are you from
Scottsdale!
Scottsdale! I am from Uganda. No.
Scottsdale, Uganda!
Scottsdale, Uganda. Alright, yes.
No.
No, Emil says, I am from the Sword Coast. You have been? It is beautiful.
I'm trying to decide how much do you think she would have traveled in over like 5 years of just...
I would say the
Aimless.
Sword Coast is on, like, the southern tip of the same continent that you guys are on. I'm not sure... I'm not sure that North Pass would be anywhere near that. And
Yeah.
your area of... You've been itinerant. You've been all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you've been geographically really that far.
Okay.
So you've probably heard of it as a general rule. Like, you've heard of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You know the approximate relation of where that is compared to where you've
I
been.
know, that's a place.
You know that that is a place, and very little else.
I can't say I've been there, but from what I've heard from the other travelers who have been there, it's nice.
It is beautiful. I miss it dearly. But there's work to be done here.
How long have you been here?
5 years.
Hmm.
I'm going to make assumptions. I was brought here, tricked against my will.
By that fucking Vistani little imp? Like, they're just like fucking like...
Whoa! He goes,
We're going
Whoa,
to
man.
have worse.
Whoa.
yes, 5 years ago I think I would have probably said the same thing. Now I simply say, by fate. Fate brought me here. The abbot kept me here.
Madame Zeroni and I are going to have many words. I just killed Dana.
Can we all hear this conversation?
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
so. You're
I'm
ready,
not being
company.
quiet.
So what did she lure you in with?
That's deadly illness.
This Madame Zoroni.
Fuck, I don't remember. It wasn't gold, though. That wasn't established until
Yeah, that wasn't a recent
in
thing.
Barovia. That's a recent development, all things considered.
And we can't go back and check. We didn't record those first
No.
ones.
No, I didn't.
I
I think
think the Raven Queen kind of guided you, didn't
It was a bit more of like a you were told to check it out kind of thing, if I remember correctly.
they didn't offer me anything. I'd never seen anything like that before, and well, before more recently, I didn't really hear from the Raven Queen. It was more of a feeling. So I sought it out, and I sought it out.
For me, it was peaches.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
What? It is not. It is funny, yes, but it's peaches.
Well, it's not the worst I've ever heard. One of our friends, she was lured in with the promise of a husband.
He like laughs like heartily and says, "Well, okay, yeah."
She would have liked you, I'm sure.
Probably would have been.
Yes, she
The dying would have been. Oh.
Oh, she
If
would.
Emil had Parfait would have had to fucking no, you if you're gonna do this, not in here.
Emil kind of like sits up in the trunk, like looks around at all the women who are in the party, is like, which?
She's not here. She passed.
You'd say Strahd may have ended her life prematurely?
Oh yes.
Is that the polite way to put it?
The devil kills her.
She gave.
People just hate to say his name.
We will return Strahd von Zorovich's favor in
Yeah,
We wish you the best of
totally,
luck.
100% on that one.
Yeah, no, I figured.
Well, if you'll believe it, my brother and I are from Neverwinter.
Huh, I've heard of this.
I've heard of that.
Everyone's heard of Neverwinter.
Yeah.
You're city children, huh?
That's right. It's been Bobson. What is it now? Bobson comes back and says, He opens up, kind of like he's got like a sheet of paper and looks at it and says, 9 months, 15 days.
9 months?
9 months, 15 days.
That's not that long.
How long have you been here?
We've been here
Compared
like
to 5 years.
Well, yeah, Emil's been here longer. What's your point?
Oh,
Yeah, but notice we don't get the choicest jobs, per se. One might call us rookies. But I think with enough time, that'll change.
I did not mean offense.
None taken. One of the first things you learn in the Abbey is everyone's got their own struggle.
So what's the Abbey about?
The Abbey takes in outsiders. People like you, perhaps, and gives them purpose. Most of those people don't tend to last very long. You've seen, adventurers. Some of those were Abbey folk. Some of them we didn't get a chance. But outcasts, people thrown out by their own families for no good reason. The Abbey takes them in all. The Abbot does good work.
What's his name?
Well, I'm not sure he has one. He's the Abbot to everybody. I think he prefers it that way. The air of mysticism.
Some people call that bullshit.
Easy now.
Well, I'm not disrespecting him, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So saith the cleric of the Raven Queen. You just like mysticism.
She's come to me directly.
The boy's got it. Yeah, and when you meet the Abbot, I think you'll understand. Sure, it sounds like bullshit now. Sounds like bullshit to everybody the first time. That's how gods tend to work. It's bullshit till it's not.
Perhaps that was more of a special case.
Perhaps.
Are any of you from up north?
One of them is. The mage kind of raises her hand. little bit, then puts it down.
Oh, where from?
God damn it. Stop with this. I don't know where things are.
That's what you wanted us to ask.
I just forgot. Is this the woman with the short hood and the bottles?
Correct. She says, man, what's her voice going to be like? She doesn't talk very much. She just raises her hand.
What about that voice that you did earlier, Dan?
That was a different one. Different lady. I told you, I can only do it when I'm reading.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
She can be from Beaconsdale.
Alright, she's from Beaconsdale.
Taking it that's nowhere near Erwick or Loki Karma.
It might be relatively close to Airwick, I'd say. From the same kind of nation state as Airwick. You might have seen Beaconsdale on a map. You've never been, but...
At least I know the name of that place.
Oh, you do?
Mhm.
And whereabouts are you from?
Erwick.
Can't say that I've
Well,
heard
Three's
of
just
it.
gonna fancy title boy from
He has not introduced himself with his
I know,
titles.
that's she's not saying it, but she's like, mm-hmm.
I've seen it on a map. What are you doing here, boy from Airwick?
What everyone is doing here. Taken against my will.
She kind of like looks back at you and then just sort of smirks and nods. And is like, it's fair. It's fair.
Mage from Beaconsdale.
Mage from Beaconsdale. Oh my god. I have to find a bunch of like hometowns for all these
There's
people.
Ramshorn.
Ramshorn
Yeah.
is another one.
Yeah.
I see.
Do you have a name, Mage from Beaconsdale?
Bianca like leans into you and says, her full name is Wencesia, but don't call her that. Wentz.
From whence we came.
Not spelled that way.
But she whispered that, so I didn't hear that.
And she says, Wentz. You can call me Wentz. Sister Wentz, actually.
Okay.
Thank you. And you?
Tatzel. Just Tatzel.
Okay, Tatzel, just Tatzel.
Do you want the sister in front of your name or not?
In front of my name or not?
Sister.
Fair. Sorry to cause any offense. And she kind of like spurs on a little bit more. Malgrim, they've caught up to you. And you're close-ish now to the sort of the bottom of the mountain, and things like it started to get a little bit warmer. The snow has leveled off, and scrubby trees and bushes are surrounding you now. It's still pretty steep, but it's not like a snow cap anymore. And as they kind of pass you by and catch up with you, I'd like you to make a perception check for me.
We're just knocking these perception checks out of the park.
No, we have 4, so that's 8.
8.
Yeah.
Well, like for a brief split second, as sort of the wind changes a little bit, there's an odd scent in the air.
Which one farted?
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just that you're not used to horses. Like it's been a while, but you're not sure. Not with an 8, you are not sure. All you know is that like the wind changed a little bit, and you got like the briefest hint of like just a smell that you don't think you've smelled before, just for a second. Which is weird. It seems familiar, but you haven't smelled it.
That smelly
Smelly smell. It smells smelly. It's not. It's not anchovies. If nobody else has anything, we can continue going.
I'm gonna kind of move. Like, I'll still stay with the group, but like move to the, like thinking that it made, like the smell of the horses kind of like threw it off. I'll probably like move to the side, just so they're not like.
You want to just let them pass you? You mean, then you can take her near the back, or what are you thinking?
No, I mean I still like staying like with the middle of the group, but like just not close enough that the horse smell is like.
There's not
overpowering.
a lot of room.
There's not a lot of room.
This switchback pathway that's been carved into the mountain is pretty narrow.
Can I move to the front of the group?
You are in the front of the group. They have path. You can hurry up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you can trot to the front. Sure.
Who's leading the horses, by the way?
Kirill is at the front with Irina.
Kirill, okay.
They're having sort of a very quiet conversation that is difficult to hear. At one point, Irina kind of does like this like punch motion, and he just sort of like nuzzles her hair and shakes his head, and she looks dejected for a moment, and then kind of perks back up again. Elm, have you been doing anything, or have you been following along?
Just follow.
Okay, just wanted to check. As the group of monks reaches you and Petri, essentially, you guys have stopped for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You are essentially at kind of a turning point, and in front of you, you can see like a really quite beautiful vista of sort of the western half of the Valley of Barovia.
Mm-hmm.
Far off in the distance, you can just barely make out Valaki to your east.
Is it still like smoking?
There is it's a little hazy over there. You're not sure if it's. Remember, that was a couple days ago.
Yeah, so
about 2 days ago now.
So there still might be some.
But it does seem. It doesn't look clean.
Mhm.
Certainly, it's difficult to say.
Was
You
it
can
ever
see.
clean?
I'm just gonna look at it and just be like sad.
As you approach, I need you each to make a perception check.
Well, that's a 14.
What's a natural 20 again?
All right.
18.
10.
10, 18, 14. Elm was thinking about everything else. Tassel, and especially Petri. Something catches your eye. And Petri with a natural 20. So I'll describe what Tassel sees. Tassel, you see this sort of odd column of dust on the road.
Okay.
And this column of dust is about halfway down the road between Valaki and the sort of turn-off point where you can just barely make out the sort of the vineyard area of the winery. It is a kind of a largish cloud that's rising up and kicked up into the air.
Right, by like horses galloping or something.
Or something like that. Petri, with your elf eyes and a natural 20, you see the same thing. And you're barely able to make out that it seems to be a large number of figures
Oh, shit.
Heading to the winery.
heading towards the winery. It's really far away, so I can't describe everything.
You're right.
But it looks like a pretty big group of something is making their way. They are not moving quickly. You'd be able to tell if they were, for example, like galloping horses. And they are not. It seems to be slow and a little bit shambling. But there's a lot of them, and that's what's kicking us.
Is there a goddamn zombie army going towards the winery?
Okay, well, Henry is
Zombies
immediately
move
going
fast?
to alert this
Not
attention, these deets, just
Mhm.
like more to Lithra, because I think I'm aware that you have whatever message.
Sending,
thing.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna like scoot over to you, and just be like, I think you need to send a message to someone from the winery that point is headed their way.
Can we make a detour to Krezek to the winery, to the wizard, whatever?
I'm not a zombie army. Nah.
This
We
the hurt.
We could split.
just tell them to leave, and that's that.
I'll send another message to
You want to do another sending?
Not all of us have to go.
That's true.
There are kids there.
That's why it's probably better for them just to run.
I'll send it to Danica.
Okay. What do you send? Make sure you're marking these off on your phone.
I have been. Large forces heading inbound to the winery. Can't discern if friend or foe. Perhaps running is best.
She sends back, thank goodness you're alive. We'll make preparations. Please try and delay. Stay safe.